Namaskar. Welcome to Vision of Asia, the community on ITV Gold. I'm Ashok Vyas, and this special weekly edition of Vision of Asia, we will pay our tributes to legendary musician and singer Bappi Lahiri. This week with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh, we talk about international affairs as well as upcoming elections in India, in Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. We will have a special ITV Gold report on the fundraising event for Congressman Frank Pallone. Vikas Khanna launched a perfume, and what is that story coming to us from Indian consulate? We'll have part of conversation on Indian secularism and vote bank politics with Jagdish Sevani and Sanjay Kaul. Dr. Devanshi, who is a life coach, talks to us about redesigning destiny. So all this coming up right after these short messages. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community, and today we begin on a sad note at 69, facing several medical challenges. Legendary musician, singer, one of his kind, who popularized disco in a unique way in the film industry, Bappi Lahiri, left his mortal frame on 15th February. He was born on 27th November 1952 and influenced a lot of people with his music and created a special place for himself, not only through his music, but also through his love for gold. He shared the secret of this passion for wearing gold to the inspiration he derived from Elvis Presley. And he had told himself that once he become successful, he will be wearing gold like Elvis Presley, and that he did. We met him several times on an ITV Gold studio also, but we share part of my conversation at Jaipur, where in 2016, he also participated in a Rajasthani Film Festival with Somesh Harsh and Anshu Harsh. So here are some excerpts with Bappi Da.
ये सबसे पहले तो हेलो टू ऑल ऑफ़ यू, नमस्कार। मैं अंशु हर्ष जयपुर से, और राजस्थान इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल के लिए सिर्फ 2 लाइन में ये बताना चाहूँगी कि ये एक ऐसा फेस्टिवल है जहाँ की शुरुआत हमने स्टूडेंट्स के साथ की है। स्टूडेंट्स को हम एक प्लेटफॉर्म देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं राजस्थान में, और हम चाहते हैं कि पिछली बार ओम पुरी जी हमारे साथ जुड़े थे, इस बार बप्पी दा हमारे साथ जुड़े हैं। ऐसी हस्तियाँ हमारे राजस्थान में आएँ और राजस्थान के बच्चों को बाहर तक लेकर जाएँ, ऐसी ही हमारी सोच है, और हम बहुत आगे तक सब लोगों को साथ लेकर चलना चाहते हैं।
ये जो ऐसी सोच है वो निश्चित रूप से कामयाब होगी, क्योंकि बप्पी दा भी आए। और बप्पी दा, आई मस्ट से दैट आई हैव सीन यू इन न्यूयॉर्क, आई हैव सीन यू एट मेनी प्लेसेस, एंड नाउ लुकिंग एट यू एट जयपुर, द वे यू इंटरेक्टेड विद एवरीबडी, लुक्स लाइक you are blessed with a perpetual creative and positive flow of musical energy. How do you feel being here?
I am very happy because Anshuji is here, Somenji is also here, and they have given me the Lifetime Achievement Award and Rajasthan International Film Festival. Thanks to Rajasthan International Festival, because 45 years and 645 films released. Up till now I am working. Jai Gangajal is coming. Hunter was released, Anurag Kashyap, and latest 2-3 films are coming. And my film, I have directed Slum Stars. Anshu ji is skinning kar rahe Kal Film Festival mein, and Slum Stars also already I have got the best film award from Australia, Sydney, and it's gone submission to Grammy. And I'm very much happy. Though all the slum children's photograph came in Billboard. You are from New York.
Yes, yes.
Billboard, that September edition with the Lady Gaga and Elton John. All slum children, they are standing. I am so happy. I want to do something for the slum children people, and this is my first attempt.
Bappi interacting with this young couple must have been an interesting experience क्योंकि organizers तरह तरह के होते हैं. First, let me request सोमेंद्र की कैसा था बप्पी दा के साथ काम करना?
बहुत अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा. एक सही कह रहे हैं आपकी, जैसे काम करने का अनुभव और बप्पी दा का एक जैसे आशीर्वाद कहें अंशु और मुझे बहुत ही फील हो रही है. और मुझे लग रहा ही नहीं है कि ये फेस्टिवल की जो शुरुआत है, मैं आगे से आगे इस तरह से लाइफ टाइम जैसे पूरा आशीर्वाद चाहिए. पूरा बप्पी दा का भी हमें पूरा लाइफ
मैं
टाइम.
एक ही बात कहना चाहता हूँ. आई वांट टू टेल यू समथिंग. Lifetime Achievement Award, okay. I have got 4 times award in a row in a month. But Rajasthan International Film Festival, they have started. I think so. Best of luck, Shomenji and Anshuji. Anytime, if you need Bappi Lahiri, any work, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Anytime आप लोग. I am so much inspired and I am so much happy in Rajasthan, the pink city, international city. And they have done Rajasthan International Film Festival. Thanks to you, Shomenji and Anshuji.
So, Anshu,
and thanks to ITV because my favorite channel is ITV.
Great. So Anshu, Somesh, in presence of Bappi da, I'm also inspired to say that whenever you need ITV and Ashok Vyas is also there to support you.
Banna re baga mein jhula jhuliya re. Everybody. Banna re baga mein jhula jhuliya re. गोरी है कलैया मैं ला दूं तुझे हरी हरी चूड़ियाँ अपना बना ले मुझे बाल माँ गोरी है कलैया मैं ला दूं तुझे हरी हरी चूड़ियाँ अपना बना ले मुझे बाल माँ हो बाल माँ बन्ना रे बागा में झूला झूलिया रे अरे बन्ना रे बागा में झूला झूलिया रे.
As we move forward, life offers multiple opportunities as well as challenges, and how we interpret events of our time. Let us take the help of the insight of Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Here is This Week with Dr. Parikh.
Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas, and it's a very exciting edition of This Week with Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Welcome, Dr. Sahab. Namaste.
नमस्कार. नमस्कार.
So we'll begin with international story and then we'll go to India and state elections. International story is the situation of Ukraine, and the way it seemed to be escalating now. It appears that all the halagulla made by America and European countries had no real substance that Moscow and Putin is going to attack Ukraine.
Well, I'm not sure because just now when I was driving here, I heard President Biden, and President Biden says that don't get fooled that this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The attack by Russia is still very likely.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to be ready. We have to be, I mean, of course, we are doing all the, at the last mile diplomatic effort to not to have war, but do not believe because of some of the military went back to base. We don't know what reason and why, but the way the other part still is 100,000 plus military personnel and planes and everything is poised to attack the Ukraine. And now they have Belarus. There is a Russian army in the Belarus border. Ukraine and Belarus border is ready to Ukraine. And just now, President Biden said that do not think that everything is over.
Very interesting, because what Putin is saying that they have started pulling out forces from Belarus also, and Western nations are just creating this kind of optics which works against Russia. And
But overall situation seems to be tense because even the reference of the possibility that Russia may even use nuclear bomb was also being discussed.
I don't think they will use nuclear bomb, but because if they use nuclear bomb, then of course Western country will finish the Russia. No, it won't happen that way. But Russia may, I mean, 80% Russia may not do anything because they don't want to have war either, because they don't want destruction of the Russia, they don't want destruction of the Ukrainian people, because even though they've captured Ukraine, 50% of the Ukrainian people are against Russia right now. So they will not cooperate. And so sometimes what happens, even if you win and conquer something, but to maintain that conquered area is not that easy.
Right.
Day to day, not easy. So I think probably it won't happen. That's my guess. But according to our USA administration, still even President himself, just now this afternoon, he had a press conference and he said that the threat of the attack of Russian attack to the Ukraine is real reality.
Probably they have some sources and they have some information through their intelligence.
Right.
Which, as a layman, when you read in the newspapers, you don't get it. But the way our world has become like a global village is seen not only in the fast communication, but also how certain forces respond to something that happens in a place like India. And it was like 6 or 8 girls wanted to enter in the classroom wearing hijab, which was not a part of the deal with the school system. And that has escalated into a very full-blown protest. Not only that, OIC calls that India is not being fair with minorities. Even from America also the kind of statements was made to which India's foreign ministry have objected that this is our internal affair. So your take on this whole situation?
I think it is internal affair of the India, and again, unfortunately, all the political party is making trying to take political mileage out of it, and they should not. And actually, this kind of subject should be decided by Supreme Court. That what is right and what is wrong, what's a person's right according to the Constitution. And if that right is not agreeable to majority of the people, then amend the Constitution and do something different. But the way it's going on right now, it's not good. Probably we don't know, because there is also a hint that whole this started just to affect election, and it can affect election either way, because we don't know how people react to it. You know, everyone interprets differently. But the whole thing is kind of unfortunate thing and should not have happened like this.
So when we say unfortunate thing and it shouldn't have happened, which is of course in the right spirit, but there are people who don't want right things to move forward. So when this issue started escalating, and there was another instance in UP, there was an attack on the car of Owaisi, and they are using it as a tool to incite Muslims against Modi government. Do you think it's going to have some significant impact?
I don't think so, because Modi's Prime Minister Modi's government and BJP has done a lot of good work in UP. Lot of infrastructure, lot of new job employment, a lot of help to the poor people. So I think people understand that. And luckily, the people of India, even though they are educated or not educated, they are very politically savvy people. And therefore, I don't think it affects the election. And in UP, my guess is BJP should win a majority.
So let me see how you feel about people saying that Muslims vote in bloc. And I feel in the previous UP elections, many Muslims voted for BJP, otherwise they wouldn't have got the kind of vote share percentage as they got. So this is a myth, or do you think they are again trying to consolidate Muslims as a bloc vote?
Well, I mean, the opposition is trying to consolidate as a bloc vote against BJP. But I think, I'm sure that there are some Muslim, particularly the women, may vote for BJP because they see BJP is a party who gives them more security day to day. BJP is a party who help to remove the triple talaq, and all those things. Most of the educated women, Muslim women, whether it's Muslim or not Muslim, they will appreciate that, and I'm sure they will vote for BJP. So it's nothing like a monolith thing that all Muslim will vote this way or that way. There's always everybody has their own way of voting, and of course UP has also very caste equation. So there is a Yadavs and there is a Dalits and all those things, and they do vote according to their caste, unfortunately, and that is not good. That is not good. They should vote on development. They should vote on employment. They should vote on help to the poor people, and that's how one should vote.
So at the end of the day, what you are saying, nobody can question that, but what you just said also was referred by Prime Minister Narendra Modi while he was addressing a rally in Punjab, mentioning, quoting some TMC leader in Goa, that we want to divide Hindu votes. And as you said, on the caste basis, etc. So Hindu vote is not unified flow of votes, multiple factors including caste.
Yes, that is true, and probably you are right that probably Hindu vote is more divided among themselves than Muslim vote or Yadav vote or Dalit votes, because Hindus are more intellectual, more educated overall, and always when people are more educated and more informed, always they have their own personal way of thinking. And that's a fact of the life.
So what works for you may not work for you also sometimes is what collectively, when we look at the political system as it is. Now in this context, there was a case of farmers' agitation, and at Lakhimpur 4 farmers were killed, and one central minister's son is given bail today as on 15th February, though he was behind bars since 8th October. This also would be translated as a sort of a political decision. They'll say that because it's BJP and his central minister's son, so
yeah,
he's out.
It gives very bad optics right now, because even though he might be innocent, but unless all investigations are over, he should not be given bail in this kind of murder, quote-unquote, murder case, because it gives a bad optic. The timing is incorrect, because the election time...
Yeah, on 21st or 23rd they have polling in Lakhimpur.
Right, and so they may, or opposition may take advantage and make it whole situation worse.
So talking about situation and talking about the way Akhilesh Yadav is campaigning, and again I'm bringing the way judicial system functions, and this gentleman who has served as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh is saying openly on a public platform that all false cases have been used to implicate Azam Khan. Now, he is questioning the judiciary, the whole system, which also puts you to the thinking that when he is working as Chief Minister, probably he is also using government machinery to his advantage. So that puts a question mark on the total fairness of the system.
Yes, I mean total fairness and total working of the system. But I'm glad that Azam Khan is still in the jail.
Yes.
And he will be in jail. And so, I mean, at least the judicial system is working that way. and it should work that way. Unless I mean, I think he was convicted, if I'm
For
not wrong.
several
So,
multiple cases.
So I mean, there should not be any pity or sympathy for that kind of person. And so I do not agree with what Akhile's comment is. I think it's wrong, you know. Whoever is, doesn't matter which party they belong to, if you have all the accusation, and if you are convicted, after accusation is one thing, but conviction is a final thing, and if you are convicted, then I think there should be get punished. And India, all this chaos in India, corruption in India, is because of nobody gets punished at the end, and unless you punish someone, the other person will not behave properly.
So fairness of the system and again people's faith in law and order is established partly under the leadership of Yogi Adityanath ji in Uttar Pradesh, and many people feel that way. So continuing with the legal system of India, after 25 years in a fodder case, now a verdict against Lalu Prasad Yadav is declared, though the formal how would he serve would be declared on 21st February. So this guy is 73-year-old, and your take on this whole the justice delayed is justice denied is also another saying. So
Yes. The system is so slow that by the time justice comes, justice served, it's too late. Just like Lalu Prasad. I mean, last 20 years the cases were going on. And of course, he went to jail for a few years now.
36 months, 17 days, yes.
Right. So that shows that our system has to be improved or reformed. And there is more judges are needed, and more system has to be on the fast track. Or there is a fast track court should be there for certain crimes like rape or robbery or corruption of the government money. Those things should go on the fast track rather than waiting for 20 years to answer that question.
Absolutely. Only the celebrity cases go on the fast track sometimes. But as we conclude, finally looking at states, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Goa, Jharkhand, your take on the possible outcome in these states. Of course, there are still more votes to be casted. And another question, or rather related question is, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while addressing in Punjab, expressed a lot of hope that there is a wave in favor of BJP. How do you see that statement?
I think what Prime Minister was saying that, and he rightfully he was saying that the way he did all the development in India, way he improves the health system in India, the way he really helped the poor people and send the money directly to their accounts. So what he's saying that if people of India look at this thing and appreciate, then obviously BJP has wave and BJP should win with the thumping majority. And I'm sure that BJP will win in Uttar Pradesh, BJP will win in Manipur. In Punjab, I think BJP does not have much base, so I think Congress will win. And Uttarakhand, again, it's a 50-50. While Goa, again, it will be fractured mandate. So again, Ayaram, Gayaram will happen like last time. And whoever can muster this Ayaram, Gayaram business will form the government.
Absolutely. So with this term Ayaram, Gayaram, it's time for us to become Gayaram. So time to say goodbye. Your parting words for our viewers.
Well, dear friends, the pandemic is kind of at the end. We are entering into endemic, and as you know that New York, New Jersey, and the East Coast, Upper East Coast states like Massachusetts, Rhode Island, they all are kind of rolling back the mask mandate. But I would urge everyone to continue wearing mask when you are with the crowd, when you are indoor, because you have to protect yourself and protect your loved one. So after saying that, I would like to say God bless America, God bless India, God bless Indian American community, and we'll see you next time. Till then, goodbye.
Frank Pallone is a well-known name, and Congressman Frank Pallone was sworn in for his 17th full term in U.S. House of Representatives in 2021. He represents New Jersey's 6th congressional district, which includes most of Middlesex County as well as Bay Shore and oceanfront areas of Monmouth County. A friend of Indian American community and Indian American community members gathered for a fundraising event for Frank Pallone at Rasoi Restaurant in Edison, New Jersey. Our chairman, Padma Shri Dr. Suri Parikh, was also present along with many important community leaders. Here are some excerpts from that event.
Well, I really am so proud to be representing such a diverse South Asian community. As you know, there's a very large South Asian presence in Middlesex County in the towns that I represent. We're here in Iselin and Woodbridge. And part of the reason why it's significant is because over the years, so many businesses have been thriving and so many jobs have been created because of the presence of the Indian South Asian community. They really revitalized the area. In addition to that, on foreign policy, the United States and India and all the countries in South Asia have grown closer to the United States and become allies. We now have what we call the Quad, which is India, Japan, United States, and Australia. That is a security relationship that's trying to prevent a possible aggression by the Beijing government in China. And so the countries are growing closer together too, which is very important.
I'm here to support Congressman Frank Pallone. I think there is such a great turnout of our community. Frank Pallone has been a congressman for more than 30 years and has been a friend of India for just as long. And people across our community recognize that. And it's such a good thing when he talks about the things that he does for all of us around here, but especially his interest in India and affairs related to India. We are so proud of Congressman Pallone. I hope he's as successful as he has been for the last 3 decades, and we wish him best of luck.
I think this is annual event. Once a year we do this to support our good friend, community's good friend, Congressman Padma Vibhushan Shri Frank Pallone. And people are coming out always with the open wallet and community. This year will be an election in November. And Frank is a candidate for House of Representatives District 6. So when you get your ballot, make sure you vote Democrat and the whole Democrat line. There will be some people from county, one of our own, Shanti Nara will be a candidate, and Frank Pallone. So please go out and vote wherever you live. This November election is very important. Democrat has to hold the Congress majority. So please go out and vote for. Thank you.
Today we are gathering for Frank Pallone Congress for the fundraising. We as an Indian American community to support Frank. Is our good friend and I know him for last 30 years he has done a lot of good things for society and from India. He's a founder of Indian Caucus and everything. So I like everyone to support Frank.
Vikas Khanna indeed is a household name, a wonderful chef as well as a very impressive speaker and a filmmaker also now. Now he has entered into the realm of spreading fragrance through perfume named after him. And launch event was organized at the Indian consulate. And why was that done? Because Indian government is also promoting the fragrance of India coming to America. And the press release said the launch of the Make in India perfume is going to usher in a new dawn for India's arrival in the global perfume industry. So here are some highlights from that event.
We've gathered here to celebrate one and many things together. We've gathered here to celebrate India's traditional knowledge and as to how this traditional knowledge is making its strides in the 21st century. We've gathered here to celebrate the rich history of Kannauj and its distinct identity as the perfume capital of India. We've gathered here to celebrate Mr. Vikas Khanna, his success, and his contribution as Cultural Ambassador of India. And we are here to celebrate the enterprise, the innovation, the aspiration of the youth of India. And that is what Swapnil represents. She is the creator of the product. And put this all together, and we are here to celebrate Vikas Khanna by Zigrana. This is perhaps the first time that we have a perfume made in India and a perfume from Kannauj, which happens to be the perfume capital of India, being launched here in New York. It is therefore very special. It is even more special because we are doing this launch in the 75th year of India's independence, and this function happens to be part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav that we are celebrating.
I'm truly delighted to be here. And at the outset, let me thank the Consul General, Randhir, for putting this wonderful event together. Thank you very much, Randhir, for doing this for Zigrana. This takes the United States by storm. I really hope that this will be a path-breaking effort in the world of perfumes. And while, of course, this is a maiden venture by Zigrana in the United States, Zigrana itself is not new to the world of perfumes. In fact, their family have had this tradition for more than 100 years in fragrances, in perfumes, in essential oils. In fact, since 1911. This is a fantastic tradition which they carried on for more than 100 years. Therefore, I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. And, I think this is Zigrana, Vikas Khanna by Zigrana deserve all our support. And it is only fitting that it is launched in New York. So I would like to wish you all the best. I'd like to wish you, Swapnil, all the best to you. And of course, Mr. Vikas Khanna, an even more fragrant future for you. Thank you very much for inviting me.
In life, there are a few moments when you're happy, excited, nervous at the same time. Today, it's that moment for me. Let me share a few words with you on my brand, Zigrana. As my father mentioned, our family has been a part of the rich and age-old Indian traditional fragrances for more than a century. While growing up, discussions about perfumes, and essences formed an integral part of all the conversations in our household. I'm proud to say that Zigrana represents the aspirations and strength of India. It's a symbol of New India, where the growth is led by entrepreneurs, where women have become an equal part in the developmental journey, and where the Make in India products are increasingly reaching out to the world. We need to take it forward by becoming vocal for local. And there is no better example of this other than CG Sir himself. My words cannot do justice to express my gratitude to CG Sir for his wholehearted support, motivation, and guidance. Thank you so much, sir. Let me conclude in the word of a prominent Indian poet, Dushyant Singh. कौन कहता है कि आसमान में सुराग हो नहीं सकता? एक पत्थर तो तबीयत से उछालो यारो. Which means, who says the sky is impenetrable? Try throwing a stone at it with conviction. Zigrana is that stone which I have thrown with full conviction. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Jai Hind.
Today morning I received a very emotional email from a French chef who lives in New York. He said, your conviction for Indian food has brought it to $2 billion. It was such a small market 12 years ago, and I'm very proud to be a small part of it. And Indian chefs were looked down upon that we were good for either delivery or cleaning dishes or line cooks. I took a stand of saying that I will cook Indian food to the highest possible grade, receiving the highest honors which any chef on the planet can get. That was my conviction, and I'm proud to give my whole life as a mission to Indian culinary arts, and of course movie making, of course documentary making, and of course creating museums. Today is February 14th. It's my dad's birthday. He would have been 77 today. Every year I try to do something which I hope somehow he's watching me, that the news reaches him, that today your son is doing this for him. 5 years ago I launched a museum of Indian culinary arts, which took me almost 11 years to make, and which has Indian utensils. Exactly what is the story of this perfume? Trying to connect the dots of history, ancient culture, civilizations, our heritage, and bringing it to the world, protecting at least one utensil. Here we're protecting the flavors of spices, flowers, history, heritage in this bottle. I'm really thankful to you, Swapnil. I knew you could do it. And it's not easy working with me sometimes because I get too passionate, and I know that. But this day is dedicated to my dad. And I hope, he used to tell me I have the worst handwriting, and he was right, because many people are still reading my signature as Khani. Thankful to all of you for being here on Valentine's Day and such an important day. I see so many important people here who have been a part of my journey and career and life. I really want to thank you all for standing with me when I was falling apart, filling up the gaps, and most important, celebrating with me all my new visions of bringing India to the world. Thank you.
How secularism plays out in India, especially with elections and vote bank politics, we talked to Sanjay Kaul and Jagdish Sevani in the light of recent comments by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, where he accused, rather he quoted one of the TMC leaders who openly from state said that their presence in Goa is to create division among Hindu voters. So how secularism works in Indian system, here are Jagdish Sevani and Sanjay Kaul, part of that conversation.
India's secularism and vote bank politics. As you are aware, in one of his election speech, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also referred to this, quoting the comments made by TMC leader in Goa. We'll talk about that But overall, how is the situation in terms of the heat generated in general, but especially during elections, with the reference of which party is pro this religion or that religion? And when we say this or that, primarily we are talking about Hindu-Muslim here. And let's see how things are moving. I have the pleasure of welcoming Sanjay Kaulji from Boston and Jagdish Sewani from Long Island, New York.
नमस्कार अशोक।
तो आप दोनों का स्वागत करने के साथ साथ जब हम कहते हैं भारत माता की जय और हम कहते हैं अनेकता में एकता है, हिंद की विशेषता, और जब हम बड़े हो रहे थे संजय जी तो हमने भारत के तिरंगे झंडे के 3 रंगों को भी मुख्य धर्मों के साथ में संबंधित सुना कि केसरिया रंग ये भी रिप्रेजेंट करता है, हालांकि वो भी था कि ये समृद्धि को रिप्रेजेंट करता है या हरियाली इत्यादि. बट कमिंग टू वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स, and as I was mentioning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi referring to a TMC leader कि वो वहाँ पर जाके हिंदुओं के वोट विभाजित करने के लिए पहुँचे हैं, ऐसा उन्होंने कहा. So keeping this statement in mind and why people are considering that this could prove to be a game changer, and whether you buy this particular way of looking at this statement, we will see that. But allow me to begin with Jagdish ji. And when we say secularism in India, many people say no, it's not actually secular, it is lopsided secularism. What is your take on the nature of Indian secularism?
अशोक जी, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी. वैसे तो सेक्युलरिज्म का मतलब होता है कि देयर इज एब्सोल्युटली चर्च और स्टेट दोनों के बीच में कुछ संबंध नहीं रहा है. बोथ आर इंडिविजुअल. बट सिंस लास्ट 75 years, what Congress has been doing is pseudo-secularism, what we call it, appeasement of minority community, and let me be very frank, appeasement of Muslim to get votes, period. That's what their intention, to appease them in any way so that they can be in power. And luckily for Bharat, India, now Bharatiya Indian peoples have realized that they have been playing this game for a long time. If you remember in 1985-86, when Rajiv Gandhi was in power, the Supreme Court, you remember Shah Bano case, at that time Congress had 3/4 majority in parliament. The Congress party, the Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi went out of his way to nullify that Supreme Court decision. So this is what they have been doing, just to be in power, appease one particular community.
Okay, so I'll come back to you, Jagdish ji, and let me seek the input from Sanjay Kaulji, and let us backtrack a little bit, mentioning about secularism. इन्होंने जो आरोप कांग्रेस पार्टी पर लगाया है, आप उससे सहमत हैं क्या? वो भी आपसे मैं पूछना चाहूँगा. बट उसके पहले बेसिक्स की अगर हम बात करते हैं सेकुलरिज्म के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, तो एक तो ये 70s में इस टर्म को कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में लाया गया है. व्हाट वाज द नीड, डू यू थिंक, व्हिच persuaded or compelled then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi to include the term secularism in India's constitution?
First of all, namaskar Ashok ji, Jagdish ji, and to all of your viewers. Coming back to your question, the secularism became part of the Indian constitution through the 42nd amendment that was instituted in 1976, as you rightly said, under the prime ministership of Mrs. Gandhi. So by definition, the Indian state had to maintain a separation of the state from the religion, and also the separation of religion from educational institutions and things like that. In basic understanding of what it means is that there is no distinction between any person of any religious background within the Constitution of India. So India has no religious, it's not based on any one religion, like Pakistan is Islamic country, or some other country is a Christian country, but India, though the majority are Hindus, it's not a Hindu country. And also, people of any faith are free to practice their religion within the domain of their own household. So that is what the secularism, and it was in concept, if you look at it, it's a great idea, it's a good idea. Has it been implemented in real sense? That is a big question to be asked and debated about. Whether we have been able to separate the state from the religious influence on it is a big question. That is what we have to talk about today. The vote bank politics, that is what we have to talk about.
Absolutely.
Is everything predetermined, destined, or we create our own destiny? Dr. Devanshi Kapadia is a life coach, and she helps people in redesigning or designing their destiny. Here is part of my conversation with her.
We'll sort of kind of capitulate, as they say, few things related to your life. And in that context, as I was mentioning, you did your medical studies, but you felt that there is something more that you wanted to learn. What was it which you feel left a sense of something missing in the puzzle of solving the total problems?
Yes, Ashokji. So it so happened that I come from a medical background, and medicine was always the way of life. And we were not introduced right as a conditioning in the family to looking beyond medicine. There was religion, there was faith, but there was not more understanding of the whole energy component of life. And when certain events that happened, and I went from one doctor to another, went from one medical school teacher to another, and then at one point of time they were the one who started saying that, Devanshi, we feel there is more to this than what you are explaining. This is not something which probably medicine can solve. And their paradigm of understanding was, why don't you go for yoga, why don't you go for meditation? And that's when I realized that these are my go-to people. This is my comfort zone. This is where I feel is beginning and end of life, which is medicine. And now suddenly these people are telling me that I need to look beyond what is my conventional structure of thinking. And they're talking about medicine, they are talking about meditation, they are talking about yoga, talking about clearing the thoughts in your mind. And that's when I understood that, okay, my base in medicine is just going to be my stepping stone, and yet there is so much which is associated, and which I probably need to look into. And that's when I started exploring, how does the conscious mind work, how does the subconscious mind work, what is psychology, what is beyond psychology. And that's how the journey of life began. It began with medicine, but it began when the medicine structure, the people associated with medicine, started saying that, look beyond. And they all know, in the whispers in the medical world also, they all know that there is beyond. But when it comes to medicine, they have to confer to that structure. But I was privileged and I was lucky that my teachers told me that, no, you're young, what you're explaining is something which you will probably need to look into the deeper paradigms of life. And that's how I got introduced from the medicinal world into what is beyond medicine, which is the energy medicine.
So, energy medicine, and I will also bring, you use the word subconscious mind. And now connecting subconscious mind with the understanding of energy, as they say that some places have different energy, some human beings have different energy. And we also hear very often people say that change your energy. And so in order to do that, you also studied outside India about the intricacies of human mind, which goes beyond what is visible and what is logically explainable. So talk to me a little bit about, very briefly, the the impact of the previous birth also, is it for real? Because some people feel birth, rebirth, etc., and let's just focus on present. So how past, not just past of that past which began with date of birth that I have, but there is a continuity of the past, how that whole composition plays out in the present moment for any human being.
So let's understand this in a little more acceptable norm and fashion. So let's understand that what happens between us and our ancestors. So what happens is that we are a part of a certain family structure. We have the mother, we have the father, we have mother's mother and father, and we have father's mother and father. Now, how they were interacting with each other, how they were interacting with their surroundings, how they were interacting with their social, economical, educational, cultural, and religious background. In that way, their whole mind, their whole input of information from the surrounding was programmed. So slowly, they started picking up certain belief systems. Money is good, money is not good, rich people are good, rich people are not good. I'm never going to be healthy, I'm always going to be healthy. To attract the attention of so and so person, I have to throw a tantrum. I have to dress in a certain way, only then I'll be wanted. My parents don't want me, my parents want me. I have to leave my country and go to another country because there's political unrest. So all these things kind of slowly become a part of the belief system and become a part of the nervous system. Now let me make us come on the same page as to belief system and nervous system. What happens is when we start believing in a certain way, believing in a certain belief, then our neuropathways, means the way our brain functions and the way certain neurotransmitters are emitted from the brain, become fixed. So our response to a fear mechanism becomes fixed, our response to panic becomes fixed, our response to aggression becomes fixed, our response to certain traumas become fixed. Now that fixed neuronal pathways, that fixed neurotransmitters are then imprinted into our DNA. And as they're imprinted into our DNA, they are passed on to the next generation. So although I didn't undergo partition, I didn't undergo poverty, but my third, fourth, fifth generation grandfather or grandmother went through it. It's imprinted into the DNA, then it's passed subsequently in the generations to come. And that's how, even when I have all the food supply, even when I have all the money supply, even when I have healthy relationships, I'm behaving according to a past nervous pattern or a past traumatic
So,
pattern.
time to say goodbye from today's Vision of Asia Voice of Community on ITV Gold. We appreciate your love and support for our programming. Stay safe, stay well is the important message that we always have, along with a gentle reminder that be our friends on our Facebook page and subscribe to ITV Gold's YouTube channel. Keep writing events at ITV Gold. Share your feedback on a lot of new programs that are being offered on ITV Gold, especially for you. Once again, thanks. Take care. This is Ashok Vyas. Namaste.